How much does your environment impact your creativity, and how much do you impact your environment? These are questions I ask myself because finding creativity in a mundane environment isn't always the easiest thing. Sometimes it's easier just to sit back and not do anything. Sometimes it's because our environment just isn't as creative as we want it to be. And sometimes it's because we just need a little bit more discipline. It's funny how creativity can charge me, make me feel like I've done something amazing, and in the moment that I get locked in, I absolutely love being creative. There's a special type of joy we get by being creative. That's the whole reason why we make things to begin with. But some days, creativity doesn't feel like that. It feels like something I have to do, rather than something that I want to do. And I do want to do it. This is the environment that I find myself in. It's a small room. And this is the desk that was supposed to get me to my creative goals. Well, I guess we can always start with cleaning it up first. There's some old cliche about how the hardest part of the journey is the first step. I don't know how true that is, but I do find it difficult to take that first step. Like cleaning up this desk, if you can tell. Yeah, clean me absolutely tells most of the story here. See, this desk isn't just so I have a place to study and work on my videos. It's a place I can call my own. It's a place that I can work and study and do the things that I want to do to continue to be creative. Now, just as a side note, we're going to need to clean up this computer. This thing is filthy. So I'm just going to wipe this thing down and see that orange stripe? Yeah, that's also going to need to go in a little bit. We're going to paint that. If you're a PC guy and you're asking what kind of computer this is, I wish I could tell you. This is an orange one, a black and orange computer. That's about all I know. I have a friend that really enjoys computers and he likes making, buying, and selling parts. So I asked him, hey, I'm looking for a new computer. Can you help me? And in fact, I was going to get a Mac Mini, but he offered this one up for a slightly lower price. And so, yeah, I couldn't really say no. You're about to witness how incredibly awful my skills are. That's just a brush from Dollarama. You guys can be the judge as to whether or not this works, but I'm just taking my time. Creativity often requires us to take time and discipline and doing the things we don't really want to do, and often we're not really that good at. Well, at least not yet. I'm really concentrated on doing this. Not only do I want to make it look good, but, I don't want to screw it up. The nice thing is you can always clean it up and go back over it later. So why did I pick this PC over a Mac? Well, for one pretty obvious reason, if you know anything about Macs versus PC, and that has to do with playing games. Macs are notorious for not being able to run or play games at any decent rate. In fact, a lot of games don't even work on Mac. And as I've gotten older, I've noticed that a lot of my friends connect more online than in person, especially after COVID. So if I wanted to see my friends on a more regular basis, then I realized I'd have to go online. As we get older, our lives become more busy, be it with jobs or relationships. Sometimes friends move out of the city, and we're just not able to connect the way that we used to when we were younger. So, playing games and connecting online is a way for me to connect with my friends, in a way I haven't really done before, but in a way that is absolutely necessary, especially the older I get. The more I recognize my need to continue to stay in a social circle, even though it becomes a lot easier to not be a part of one. This PC's looking pretty good. We're finally going to get the last part of the case snapped and screwed on. There's a common phrase that a lot of creatives use, and it's done is better than perfect. Now, I hate this phrase, not because it's wrong, but because if it's true, then all my worrying about the project being perfect means absolutely nothing. Perfect is unattainable, and I need to put away my own ego and recognize that I can't be perfect. But that doesn't mean that because a project is any less perfect, that it's not any less beautiful. I don't actually think that turned out too bad. It's not perfect, But I think it turned out pretty good, all things considered, and I'm not much of a painter. Sometimes as creatives, I think we can feel that we cosplay as creatives. Like we're not as good as the other guys, so we must therefore not be creative. But the reality is that creativity isn't a competition. We don't have to compare to other people, we just have to be creative. This is really cool. This is an audio kit. It's now discontinued, but it's the Rode NT1. Comes with a preamp called the A1, just a single input, plugs directly via USB into the back of the computer. It's a good sounding preamp. And we got an XLR cable, a shock mount that's really good, and a pop filter. This is just a cheap arm that I found at my local computer store. I attach it to the side, and I can just attach the shock mount directly to it, just so it can swivel in and out of the way. It's an absolute overkill when gaming, but considering my audio background, I figured it was very necessary. By the way, you're hearing this entire voiceover from that microphone. One really cool feature about this arm is that it has little tracks underneath it, so I can hide the XLR cable, making it look really nice and neat. Now, you want to make sure you have enough slack so that when it rolls out of the way, you're not bending or stretching the cable in any weird way. This is really cool. This is my mechanical keyboard, the QK65. Now, this is a custom mechanical keyboard that you had to buy in the buy-in, and I didn't get it. I actually bought mine secondhand on Facebook. I spent an entire day looping the switches by hand, but I think it was totally worth it. For my mouse, I'm using the MX Master 3. That side scroll wheel is so helpful when editing. No more trying to scroll over randomly. It is such a useful, helpful device. It's a little expensive, but now they have version 4, I think version 3 has gone a little bit down in price, so it's probably worth it. These headphones are essential. These are the Sony WH-1000 Mark IIIs, and the noise canceling is unlike anything I've ever heard before, and is absolutely essential when you have noisy upstairs neighbors like I do. You may not be able to change the situation you're in, you may not be able to change the struggles that you face as a creative, but you can change your environment and how you view things. So, no matter what you've gone through last year, no matter how good or bad your year has started already, I'm rooting for you. And I hope that this year becomes your greatest year yet, where you're more creative and you grow more as a creative. We're all in this together, so remember, take it easy, bud. I'll see you in the next video.